Good evening, good evening, good evening, Spray Wash land. Ray will be joining me here in a little bit, just so that you all know. Let me adjust that a little bit. He is going to be running in hot. He thought he had his charger out, and he did not. So he'll probably be here within the next 5 to 7 minutes is what I'm guessing before he'll run in here. And there he is. He's showing up right now on the click of time. He's almost here anyhow. At least he's in his shop now, and he's just about ready. So he'll be joining me here in a few minutes. But anyhow, a couple things real quick. I think we're going to look at doing another thing with role playing. And what I mean by that is that I had a member that I was talking to today about something, and so I did a little bit of role playing with him. And just to me, I love the role playing side of things, especially on the sales side, communicating with customers. So I think as Spray Wash Pro, we're going to start doing that on a monthly deal, where we start just doing some role playing and go back and forth over different things, different issues that you've had, and how to address them, how to talk to customers, how to deal with property managers, just all the different things, all the different gamuts of what you would see, and just role play over them. So, hey, Truth Seeker, I see you in here. And then this is Ray popping in saying, give me just a minute. He is at the shop. He's going to be there here in just a bit and coming through on both of the YouTube channels, which is going to be awesome. And then Clean Windows Faster is in here. That's going to be, I think that's Perry, isn't it? Isn't that Perry Tate? Isn't that you? And Wild West is in. Made it on time this time, not with, I think last time you said you were out on a date. Tornadoes happening all across Texas right now. Keep your head down. And Servant is in here. So again, Ray will be here in just a minute. He's in the back office right now. He's trying to get things set up, and then he'll be joining us here in just a few minutes. But we will try to set up a little thing to do some role playing. And again, what I mean by that, now that we got people jumping on, is that for Spray Wash Pro members, we'll do a mostly sales, but really anything that y'all want to do, and we'll do it on a monthly basis, where it's like a Zoom meeting, and we just sit and we just role play with each other. We talk about things, and we work things out, that kind of thing. But also, and before Ray joins us here, let's talk about a huge convention coming up. Don't forget about that, August 17th, 18th, and 19th. If you go to buy tickets for the huge convention, don't forget to use the promo code Spray Wash, capital SPRAYWASH, capital letters, Spray Wash, and get your discount for that. Aces High is in here. Howdy, y'all from Texas, and keep your head down, because we were just hearing about all the tornadoes and stuff. And yes, he's saying this. That is Perry. Clean Windows Faster. Jacob Neal, he's in here. Mr. Jacob's in here. Evening, old man. And
what's happening?
Big Rob. Hey there. We've got two more introductions here. Jeremy Brooks is in here. I'm here for the general chatter, and he's not here for the role playing. What a bummer. And then Lloyd Jacobs is also here. So evening, you smart, amazing fox. Is that what that is? That's a fox. It's got to be a fox. Well, now you got to be a fox and a what? That's a new shirt, Ray.
You can be anything you want to be nowadays.
That's a new shirt. Show me that shirt. Stand up and show us the shirt.
So
that's a nice new shirt. There you go.
Ta-da.
Power Wash Store, Tallahassee. Got his stuff going on.
It's funny, but I literally was at home. I was like, I'm just going to do this from the house on the laptop tonight, and went and grabbed the laptop, and that battery's dead. Grabbed the plugger inner, and I have no idea where the plugger inner is. So
back to the shop.
I was like, oh crap, I guess I'm going to the shop. So.
Let's see. Ryan's in here, and he's saying, I'm here for the role playing. You killed my orchard lilies. How dare you? That'll be a good one to go through, right?
Yes. That's always
I talked to somebody about something along those lines today as well. So Yeah, when we get into the role playing side of it, we're going to go over all that kind of stuff. Anything, anybody, even if it's a joke, because to me, I find that it really doesn't matter. You know, sometimes those jokes, and then you're sitting there and a homeowner comes out with almost that exact same thing, and you're like, how in the world? I mean, you would think that but there's you hear all different kinds of things out there, and yeah, you killed my orchards, my lilies, my how dare you, and all that. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Jacob says Jeremy Brooks is here for me. Yeah. I bet he is.
I mean, I caught part of that, Doug, and part of it's a joke, but and so the role playing, is a joke, but in some ways it's not a joke because if you just hear it before, um, something on there and can deal with it and quick on your feet. I was just talking to Tanya. She was just up in Nashville teaching at that Rockstar admin convention and said they did a lot of role playing up there, and the people were very into it just because it's just helping you along a little bit by doing that. It may be something that you wind up hearing one day. You may never hear it, but at least it gets it out in the open.
And not only that, when you're doing that, you listen to it and you can transfer it into something else. Even though we might talk about somebody saying something about how dare you killed my lilies, you can transfer that into how dare you got this crap on my 1967 GTO, right? And now it's got all the salt deposits on it. So you'll still be able to take that knowledge and transfer it a little bit. You might have to change your wording up a little bit. And that's why role playing for those kinds of things can be absolutely fantastic in learning how and what to say and responding to people in different ways. And especially if it's something that that you're eventually going to hear, somebody's going to say it. It just happens that way.
Well, it's the old saying of, if you put an infinite number of monkeys with an infinite number of typewriters in a room, eventually you'll come up with the works of Shakespeare. I mean, you're in this business long enough, you will wind up getting questions that are oddball. And I saw, he has a wonderful business, Lake Worth area, Dan Ryan, he had posted one in Spray Wash Academy, where the customer was like, oh, your estimate clearly said the whole house, my driveway was washed. It's like, well, there was a line item for the freaking driveway and you told me not to do that. I mean, you're going to wind up,
with those things happening.
You're going to wind up. I want to deal with this. So, Servant, you can go on to powerwashstore.com. There's a drop-down menu for our store. You can't order from any of the franchises online. That's something that Paul has reserved the right to for the national store. Anything you order online at the national store is also meant to be like Amazon pricing. You don't get to talk to anybody. You don't get to ask. I mean, it's click it, put it in the basket, pay your credit card, and go. So we really encourage you to send us a message, email, pick up the phone, and call so we can actually help you there, because the individual franchises, we don't really do a lot, online per se.
Stuff, yeah, that whole situation with Dan, I mean, I commented as well, because the only thing for me that I was trying to get across to him, and Dan has an amazing business, all that he obviously knows what he's doing, those kinds of things, but was just that the exchange. And this is why it's so important, and we say it all the time, where most of the time when you're dealing with people online, Facebook, you're not dealing with all of the information, right? So Dan gave us a snippet kind of what happened and not the entire story. And so, like I was saying to him, to me, his exchange was confrontational with the customer, and I try to avoid that. But what he came back later and said was that this was like the end of it with this customer.
You're just being the abbreviated version.
Customer. And absolutely, you get to that point where you're just like, you know what? You dry up and blow away kind of a thing. So
I just read this comment, threw up in my back of my throat a little bit there, Jacob. Thank you. And hey, True Seeker, I will bust out the the Tiger Grip gloves there, and we'll Go to town. You ever use those Tiger grips?
I have, yeah. The orange ones? Yeah.
Yes, those are the best freaking gloves ever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the what is it? Is it 7 mil? Those what those are? 7 or 9? I can't remember. I think they're 7.
You know what? What size are these? These are the XXL. So I'm going to go ahead and open one of these up because I need to start giving them out to guys that come in.
Is that what they are? Are they 7 mil?
Doug, they are Tiger Grip Nitrile. Tiger Grip, take care of your most valuable assets, your hands. And, you know, that's actually very, very true. That is your most valuable asset.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not actually seeing where it's saying what mil.
I'm pretty sure those are 7s. Anyhow, they are. They're good gloves.
Oh, they're amazing.
The same ones that we were using.
I don't see where it says it on there. I know they're not latex. They're nitrile, which is nice. And we're going to I need to start putting a set of these up here on the counter just for guys to
try them out.
Yeah, to try them out and do. And I actually sent somebody had a nice large order the other day, and I sent him a box of them, and I said, "You're gonna lie." I said, "My gift, you know, thank you very much." And he was like, "Oh my gosh, you're right. Those are amazing. Those are absolutely just, you know, amazing, amazing gloves." So they're at least 7 mil. But what's nice is they actually have, I don't know if you can see,
the little
textured grips on there, front and back, so it doesn't matter what size you do, and they're just good gloves.
There you go.
And yeah, True Seeker saying they were out of Big Rob. The mounting block for the downstream, they have them both ways. They have a 90 they have a 90, and they also have a straight as well. I'm
going to go back up and hit this thing from Kobe again. So Kobe is getting ready to go on a whirlwind tour across the whole world here. I think he's doing. Yeah, but I know he's headed I think he said Tennessee, Florida, and then he's coming on his way up here. So see you soon, Kobe. And then that was the one that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
A Truth Seeker saying those are the best gloves. They were out of stock for a while. Yep. Mitchell Moore is here, either 7 or 8 mil. I think Glove Works are 8 mil. Also, I have to argue that a leg might be your most important asset. Having a broken ankle right now really makes you completely dependent on others. Yeah.
Chris Kinsey was you know, he ran into that
for a while.
Yeah.
I don't think you can sit there and say, because I mean your hands are so super important, but your legs are super important, but then your heart's super important, but then your brain is super
I'll tell you
important.
What, your shoulder is super important. Yeah. You know, after my surgery, I sit there every day and wish that my shoulder hurt as bad as it did when I first thought my shoulder was hurting, because my shoulder hurts much worse now, you know, and it makes my life absolutely miserable. Mm-hmm. You know, your body in general is, and I shouldn't be talking. I mean, I could lose 20 pounds or so, but man, we got to take care of ourselves. I was very happy. I lost 10. My blood work from my doctor was amazing. He actually was like high-fiving me. My, you know, A1C was down, just everything. He's like, God, your kidney function, your liver function, everything's great. So take care of yourselves. You only get, you know, one of you.
Yeah. And Mitchell, I got to tell you that was at least a pretty cool video. I mean, even though you screwed up and broke your ankle, you know, it was still a cool video. I like that one. Heck of a landing anyhow, right? Because I think but I don't think you didn't show skipping the water though, which would have been cooler. Would have been cooler is if you crashed into the water, but you know.
I guess I missed the video. I haven't had a lot of computer time.
Yeah, he was just it was a landing, you know, skydiving, and it was, I think it was competition. He was doing a competition, and I think you placed. I can't remember what I saw there. There's something about a competition. Anyhow, Big Rob says, okay, I want to order straight from you.
Perfect.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
Just give me a call. We'll throw the number up here a couple of times. Ryan brought something up very interesting right here. My gas diaphragm exploded on my customers. New seal blacktop driveway. I have 30 gallons of 5% all over the place. My assistant is nowhere to be found 2 blocks away smoking cigarettes. Yeah. That is one of my issues that I have with these Comets, with the Udors. And don't get me wrong, and a lot of people saw the video that I did this weekend. I was playing around with a Comet P40, and I got 67, 68 feet of distance shooting that thing. I mean, the wind was just perfect, a little bit at my back. I had the high flow proportioner opened wide up, and it was just everything was on point. It was going. But then those things, and I was actually telling you this earlier. We were wondering about how to change the oil out of the diaphragm block itself. And we pulled up an exploded drawing the other day on Google. And there's so many moving parts compared to other pumps. The Udors and the Comets. I mean, it's downright shocking. It's downright shocking how many moving parts are in those pumps to make them work. And I know that that's the pump of the week, the flavor of the month right now.
The flavor of the month,
Comets. Yeah. But boy, I'm telling you, and don't get me wrong, I just ordered 2 more to have on the floor because people want them right now, and equipment's getting tougher and tougher to get. But telling you what, that's not something you want to use alone necessarily. And because when that thing cracks, and it will crack, you don't. I have found that with the Comets and the Udors, like I know people cuss the boosters, and there's a problem.
They cuss even the Udors, and I mean everything gets cussed by.
But a booster gives you a little bit of a warning. It seems in general, whenever you have problems, like you start losing a little bit of space, or you'll start hearing stages going out. You may start hearing grinding on there. You get a little bit of,
or you start getting your breakers tripping.
Oh yeah, you start tripping breakers. It's time to clean it out. I mean, that's almost a guaranteed sign that it's time to rebuild at that point, or at minimum clean out.
If you trip your breaker on, like your GFI on something, whether it's on your generator or the house, that is absolutely telling you, hey, it's time. Yep. You got a little bit of time, but you're going to have to clean me out. If you don't do that, you're going to end up one of those days where it's just not going to work for you.
The problem that I found with the Comets and the Udors, and again, not slamming the pumps at all. We sell them. They're great pumps. They sling serious sauce. But when you have a failure with one of them, you typically have a catastrophic failure. Not it's not wanting to work today. You're either losing a inlet outlet nipple. You Ryan's
got it. Ryan's got it right there.
Yeah. But whenever this thing fails, and they will fail, anything that has bleach involved in it will fail eventually. But I've just found with these type of gas diaphragm pumps, the failure is typically catastrophic. And by catastrophic I mean, let's hope that you're on water whenever it hand grenades and not on bleach, because it's going to sling shit everywhere.
So going back to that though, Ryan, I'm going to click back on that. So it says, my gas diaphragm exploded on my customer's brand new sealed blacktop driveway, and I have 30 gallons of 5% all over the place. So, what would you do, or what would you say in a case like that? Because that you're not just going to rinse that off and it's going to come out okay. The odds are you're going to have a discoloration on that asphalt driveway. And that's where it's one of those things where I think, especially on the setup of it. So if we're doing role playing, for me, it's very much so going to be, let's just say that my customer's name is Ryan. I'm going to be throwing that out there. I'm going to call him up, or I'm going to call him out. If he's there, I'm going to call him out. I'm just going to say, hey, Mr. Ryan, got some good news for you. My pump exploded all over the place, and so you get a new seal coat on your driveway.
Yeah,
that's how I'm going to approach something like that, because he's going to say, I just had it seal coated. Yes, sir. And if it messes it up at all, we're going to take care of it, because you have to address these issues. They're going to happen. And again, this is where we have insurance. Not that I would necessarily use the insurance. I may or may not use the insurance on that, but I'm not going to hide from it. It's one of them things that you're going to address, and you have to deal with it. But me, I like to try to lighten things up, lighten the mood, depending on how the person is. If they're a very anal person, I might not approach it that way. But on something like that, that's pretty much how I'm going to say it. Looks like you're getting a new seal coat. And he's like, I just got it seal coated. Yeah, well, we're going to do it again.
I like humor. Say, hey, Mr. Customer, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not your orchids anymore. Anyway, I love having the story. And this, you want to talk about literally going impromptu. It just hit me. But, again, booster pump, we've got stages inside this booster. This is a 3/4 horsepower. We've got 14 stages. We know what the stages look like. They're fairly simple.
But they're those round discs. Each one of those series of discs is another stage.
You've got a cup, a diffuser, a cup, an impeller, and a diffuser. But whenever you're dealing with the P40, and this is the P36, a smaller version of it, here's what you're dealing with. You've got an engine, then you've got a gearbox, and then you've got the pump itself. And look at all the joints on the pump. Look at all of the everywhere one of these things is a failure point on here. And again, it's not anything negative about it, because I've used them, I sell them, I service them, but there's lots of moving parts.
Lots of stuff going on. Even on like a Honda 690, I mean, you're still going to have three different, because you've got your motor and you've got your gearbox, assuming you're using a gear drive anyhow, and then you've got your pump. So you got the three things that still need oil there.
Yeah, for anybody that's never seen a Comet P36 up close, this is what they look like. So
that is it right there in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mr. John. Ryan is saying 100% best response, fixing grass and landscaping as well. Own up and rectify the situation, be accountable, and solve the problem. That's the biggest thing on any single one of them, is just making sure you're solving whatever that problem is.
Solve the problem.
Michael Shane says, guys, just clean storage buildings. They sucked. I actually had to work. Yeah, tell me. Glad I charged accordingly, but I wish I understood what I was getting into. Sometimes you get hyped about a job, but turn a blind eye. That is a fact, especially if it's something that you haven't done before. And you see a lot of times where people are talking about, man, I get to clean my first slate roof. Matter of fact, one of the ones I talked about today actually had a copper roof on it. And I mean, an actual copper roof. I believe that's what it's going to turn out to be. Not a painted metal. I think it's going to be a copper roof. But so talking about those differences, and, you get excited, you get pumped to do something different and exciting and big and, all this kind of stuff. And you might, just like you're saying, turn a blind eye to what you actually need to be looking at to make sure that you're profitable and that you've priced it accordingly, which I'm glad you did.
100%. 100%. They're you look at storage buildings and you think, oh, this is really cool, really big. But if you're dealing with the oxidation, I mean, I know you've dealt with the oxidation a lot on those doors before. I know that, you don't have a lot of access to water on those things. You don't have a lot of access to power on those things. I know that you get people driving in and out of you back and forth. We did a couple of big U-Haul centers, and they wanted the concrete cleaned on there. And oh, what a nightmare. I mean, it's just, somebody, it's like, it seems like no matter where you put your trailer at, that's the unit they need to get into. It's just, there's a lot more activity at those places than you realize.
Yeah, choosing the day to work on them is extremely important, because most of the time you think, well, commercial, I should do that on the weekend. Yeah. Definitely not storage facilities on the weekend. Yeah, that's when people are going for it. Also, the other thing that I find with storage facilities too is that mornings are worse than afternoons, but mornings and evenings, because people are trying to get their stuff either in or out during that, before they go to work or after they get off of work.
Right.
And then also having a conversation with the property manager, right? Not the regional manager, but that actual property
on-site person, the person that's there.
What days and what units are constantly used? Because you have business owners that go in there and maybe they got a Frito-Lay route, right? Yeah. And then they have a staging. They'll have 2 storage units where they stage their stuff, and they'll bring a semi in and unload every single Wednesday at X time. And the manager will typically know those time frames.
You bring up a really, really good point there, Doug, because so many times we sit there and we want to be the expert of it, but engage with the manager on that. We feel like it's almost like we're showing, at least here's from me talking to guys, something that I think. Guys almost think that it's a sign of weakness to ask the questions, when in fact it's really not. It's a sign of complete intelligence. It's a sign of professionalism. It's a sign of you give a crap, and you've been around the block, and you understand that on-site manager, and I don't care if it's a hotel, an apartment, a mini storage building, or whatever, but talk to them. Ask them, talk to maintenance, say, hey, are there areas that we have to, concern ourselves with? If you're doing a hotel, walk it with the maintenance guy and say, hey, what do you know? And the guy might even say, yeah, you know what? Every time it rains heavy, I've got to come out here and sandbag this door right here because, it really leaks bad and the water rolls back here and it's not level. And okay, that's an area where you might bleach out the carpet at, which we've seen before happen.
Yeah. And a lot of times people don't. Yeah. I know somebody that did that. Yeah. I mean, asking those questions and thinking about those questions, especially on commercial jobs, do you have any windows or doors that leak?
Yeah.
The property managers and the people that are there, or employees, a lot of times the employees will know more than the manager will, right? They're the ones that are cleaning it up, kind of thing. So don't be afraid to ask. Again, I am a firm believer in the only stupid question is the one you
don't ask. Yeah. Well, I've always said the only stupid question is the one I can't answer.
Yeah.
But the one you don't ask. That really and truly is. Oh, thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes, for those of y'all who haven't seen it, welcome to Power Wash Store Tallahassee.
It's in the process.
That's several thousand pounds worth of chemical back there. One day I'll set up the camera. We'll do it in front of the chemicals again. So
yeah. John Sacco is saying, you will never know unless you ask. The worst you'll get is a no today. That's it. And Dave, I think I don't know if you got that, but I did send you a PM. Just give me a holler. Hey, Scotty.
Talking about, Scott, I got a beautiful 800 right up there. And look at that. Look at there. We got a Pressure Pro right there. Got another Pressure Pro skid unit in back. And I tell you what, guys, pressure washers are becoming rare. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but supply chain is really weird right now.
I think what you should do, Scott, is you should just give Ray your bank account and routing number, credit card, and just don't open it every month. That's what I think. I think you just don't open it every month. Just let him go. Let him have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
He'll have everything you need and more.
There, Jim brought up a great one right there. You had some wood doors on a historical building that swelled up. Then they let them know, hey, the rain does that as well. Yeah, you're thinking that,
and they go right back.
Oh my gosh, I have destroyed something here. Oh no, this happens every time that it's humid outside. So,
yeah, you'd be surprised to find out how many things you didn't do, or that they do know happens all the time, and they're well aware of it. Yeah. I mean, we always have water. Every time it rains, we get water coming down right here.
Oh my God, Ryan! Oh, thank you so much, John. I appreciate it. Chris, we'll get back to this question in a minute. Oh my goodness, I almost just choked on my probably whiskey. Before and after pictures I purchased online and found on Google Images perform so well. I have all these jobs lined up. My phone won't stop ringing. The fake Google reviews I bought are working great too. How do I wash vinyl siding? How true. How true.
Right, let's
realize there's literally
let's role play on that one.
There's literally a group of people out there right now that are selling. You can buy a starter pack of pictures for like, what was it, $150 for 100 before and after Google or images. And then, in case you need more, you can go spend another, is it 79 or 150? Who cares?
So Ryan,
don't buy before and after pictures. Seriously.
Mm-hmm. And guess what? Everybody else that's buying those pictures, they're all using the same ones.
Steal them, like most people do. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No. You got people that'll just give them to you. But let's role play on that one. I want to role play on that one. Come on, I want to role play. How would I handle that, right?
Yep.
So the before and after. So how am I getting? Look, Ryan, the best way to handle that, right? The very first thing you do before you pull up to the customer's house, you stop maybe a block and a half down the street. You take the license plate off of somebody else's vehicle, attach it to your vehicle. That way, like if they snap pictures and stuff, hey, you're good to go. They got the wrong vehicle, right? So maybe even just steal a truck to begin with and put somebody else's lettering, somebody else's phone number on it so that you can't get in trouble. Just collect the cash, baby. Dollar bills, baby.
It's so horrific what we see. I mean, I think it's, I don't want to say criminal, but it's horrific what we see going on in the world of pressure washing now. And the ones, it's so easy to do. And it's like printing your own money and it's just so easy. But I can't say that I haven't had the guys here coming to the store and my heart goes out because I know guys are putting hard-earned money into this that they've worked very hard for. They may have gotten a settlement or a stipend, and they've shown up here with rigs that they've taken advice from that aren't working, and feel horrible for guys. I feel absolutely horrific.
Look, I want to go to this one here from Servant. You'll get experience creating your own before and afters.
Right.
And here's the thing. I think most of us that started out in this industry did one thing to get some of our before and afters. Mm-hmm. We experimented on our own properties. Yep. We did things on our own properties. We cleaned our own roofs. We washed our own houses. We did our own driveways. Mm-hmm. We, all these kinds of things that helped us get our before and afters. Reached out to some mentors and that sort of thing. I don't like the idea at all of buying before and after pictures. And I don't like the thought of knowing that there are all those same before and afters out there being bought and sold that, if you happen to be looking around and, you can right click on an image and Google search that same image. And if it pops up all over the place, I mean, no, I'm sure most people aren't going to do that, but nonetheless, I just think that's
you can also, there's a program called 10i, and then Google does the research on it. And if anybody ever sees, we were
talking about that today.
Well, yeah, a different one we were talking about, but hold on. Anybody? I hope I still have it.
Well, while you're looking here,
I
I'll
just hope I still have it in my favorites is where I'm at there. But I'll go ahead and split the. Oh, right here. Hold on. Let me share the screen with you, Doug. Yeah. If anybody ever sees this one right here being sold, share screen. Share it.
Before you share it, is it a round barrel front?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's
one of your most stolen pictures.
It's this one right here. Is that? I don't think it's.
Oh, I know which one you're gonna do. I know which one you're
the one that I used to have on all of my this one right here.
Yep.
If anybody ever sees this one being sold, please let me know. Get me screen caps and like a live thing on that, and I'll give you a part of the $250,000 award that we'll get on that. Because I mean, this is where I know that sounds silly, but this is where you have to be careful because I have this picture copyrighted. Not that we don't always have a copyright on our stuff, because if you do something and create something, you have a copyright on it. But I actually went and got a true written copyright from the U.S. government, which has the statutory damages. It's either $125,000 or $150,000 each, and that's two different images right there. And I paid the copyright fee for it, and it's like an automatic damage if somebody is profiting off of that image. So, do y'all really want to take that risk on using images? I mean, the guys that are, how about this? The guys that are selling you images. Let me ask you this. Can you trust that those are actually images that they own the rights to sell? Something to think about.
Yeah, I would be making sure. I like this one too. I mean, servant saying, hey, he went and did the neighbor's place.
Yeah.
And his form of payment was being able to take those before and after pictures. Cool.
Yep.
It gives you a great time to learn your equipment, learn your skill, learn your trade, all that kind of stuff.
So Dave, actually, I just found out that my wholesale supplier is going up 20 cents a gallon on me today. That was went from 165 to 185 for bulk 12 and a half. I was a little shell shocked. So
everything is going up again. My son was mentioning that gas prices here actually went down.
Yeah.
I think he said 20 cents, and it's amazing because my son was bringing up the fact that why is it that the gasoline that they bought from their supplier, a week ago, it can fluctuate in price at all today. You already know what you paid for that gas that you've got in the ground. So why is it now 40 cents higher and 20 cents lower? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because on gas prices, at least, the gas prices that we pay, they crank that crap up at the first, the first murmur of hearing something. Oh, we got to go up on these gas prices. But then it takes forever to go up. In some ways, I hate to say it, they use that. So, yeah.
Well, it's also a conditional thing where, you're paying 99 cents for something, 99 cents. All of a sudden, you're paying $1.50 and $2.50, and now it's at $3. And you're, oh my God, it's $3. This sucks. Then they drop it back to $2.50, and you're like, yes. I got it for $2.50 now. I got it for $2.50. Wait a minute. It was 99 cents last week, you dummy.
Ryan, here you go. So let's say you go and you purchase the picture pack, and you go on your website, and you're brand new at it. And again, God knows I don't begrudge any new guy. Hell, we try to help new guys.
Yep.
But you go and put a picture of a Spanish. Are we allowed to say that? Spanish barrel tile, Mexican barrel, or just
clay tile?
Are we allowed to even say that? Do we just assume the ethnicity of that tile? Yeah, anyway, let's say a barrel tile roof, and you've not done one, and you're a portly, little chunky monkey like myself, going in there at about 220 or so, knowing good and well your ass shouldn't be walking these barrel tile roofs, and you're you've not had any experience with it yet, and still you're advertising by pictures that you can do these. What are you going to do at this point? Because you have no idea how to do it. It can be done from a ladder, most likely. It's going to take you 3 times as long as if you would have walked it. So, you got to be real careful about what you tell people you can do.
And knowing what it is that you can do. That's like, I mean, for me, I happen to know, slate is it's a natural stone, right? And we all know that stones are really, really strong and unbreakable, right? So you can run and jump and dance all over slate and never have a problem, right? I mean, there are just things that you shouldn't do. You shouldn't, I mean, to me, you shouldn't be walking on slate.
Should not be walking.
It's actually very brittle. And I mean, it's a great product, and it's not that brittle.
Yeah. Button is asking Steve. Yeah. Apparently, but buying before and afters is a thing now at this point. So is buying Google reviews.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I think people are getting more savvy to that Google reviews. If somebody has, I know a lot of you guys will talk about, man, I got 500 Google reviews now. This is awesome. I mean, for me as a consumer, I look sometimes at a company and I see where they've got 500 or 1,000 reviews, and I want to know what kind of company it is first, because if it's a small service company, I don't know that I trust those reviews anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm thinking they probably paid for those reviews, even if you didn't. It's getting easier nowadays for us to get reviews because there are programs out there that help us get those reviews, which makes it, like I said, just way easier. But I question that, and I say, are those legitimate reviews? And then I'll start to read the reviews, and I think a lot of consumers are doing this too. So it depends on how your reviews are written. If it just says great service, highly recommend, okay, that means nothing to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's a paid for review.
And seriously, if Google finds out it might be illegal and all that. Okay. If Google finds out you're doing that and suddenly they nuke your reviews, that's going to suck for you. You're going to, or they suddenly relegate you down to a lower search status. That's going to be really bad. And you'll probably never recover from that as far as your SEO is concerned.
Right.
Especially if you're the new guy in business, what better earnest conversation to have with a seller to say, you know what? Thank you so much for your business. I really appreciate the opportunity to serve you. I hope you're happy with it. If I could ask you this one thing, something that helped my business more than anything in the world, it's if you would go on and leave me a Google review. I would so appreciate that. And it's just absolutely vital to success. And just be earnest and be straight up with the people and ask them to do that, and then you can get software to help you go along with that.
Get your employees involved. Make them give them a bonus for every review.
A bounty, a Google a review bounty on there. I've known several guys that have done that.
Absolutely. Busy Show says, enjoy the chat, gentlemen. I pick something up every time. That's awesome. Then asked thoughts on electric versus roller pumps for soft wash, and where do I buy Google reviews? You buy your Google reviews from this guy. I will go in and I will create 5,000 accounts. Never mind. So thoughts on electric versus roller pumps. Honestly, what are you referring to on the roller pump? So I'm thinking the electric pump, we're talking about maybe the booster pumps, but I'm not sure what we're talking about on the roller pumps. You know that there, Ray?
No, I mean, unless it's one of like the old PTO driven, roll. I've seen that it kind of uses the peristaltic action. If it's what I'm thinking it is, I've never used it, and I don't have a response or an opinion on the roller pumps. And you know what? And Jim's right. I did that. I let a lot of people use that photograph over the days, but it was people saying, hey,
I used it.
In fact, that photograph is in Spray Wash Pro, and Spray Wash Pro members are absolutely welcome to use it. And I remember having the conversation with Jim. Yes, you're welcome to. And that's the thing too, is by God, ask ask. There's so many people out there willing to help. Don't just go out and steal, and don't go out and buy, because you have no idea if you're buying photographs, if it's setting you up for a lawsuit or what.
The funny part about a lot of this today is that if you steal pictures from somebody, and I think this is happening more and more, where because we're all so connected online here, I steal pictures from Ray, right? And then, here Ryan pops up, sees Ray's picture, knows that it's Ray's picture. He's going to contact Ray. Okay. If you're a new guy in the market, probably some of the guys around you are going to go to your website, check it out, right?
Yep.
And if they know that those pictures don't belong to you, they're going to roast you anyhow. So
Yep.
it becomes somewhat pointless. And
your ass,
if I know that that's a picture that I can buy, and you're against me in the bidding process, ma'am, I don't.
Oh, I will throw your ass under the bus so fast. I mean, it's so funny, Mr. Jones. We obviously, I always keep tabs on my computer, and that's if it works for you. I mean, I'm not saying this should be your sales pitch whatsoever, but I just think it's really interesting that some of my competitors actually have, on their website, their amazing pictures they have wasn't even work that they did, where everything that we have on ours is work that we've done ourselves. But we're sitting here in the middle of Texas, and that guy's, roof picture has palm trees in the background. Don't you think that's a little strange on there?
Look at the surroundings. That is definitely not my area. You see that mountain in the background, Mr. Homeowner? I don't think we have any of those in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I want to fill with slate roof. What would it cost to protect it beyond watermarks? It's not bad. I want to say that MTH, I believe it was either 75 or 125 to copyright a photo. I mean, not here.
I think, though, I don't know what the rule is, but I think that I think there's a statement you can make, which basically gives you rights, but they're not the rights that Ray is referring to.
I'm sorry, it's $55.
Yeah.
Registering your copyright costs $45 for a single work, or $55 for a collection of photographs. I mean,
you can do a whole collection. You can do your entire collection theoretically then.
Mm-hmm. Holy crap! SH is $5. This is
dang. Well, but wait a minute. How are you buying that? Are you buying it in bulk, or is that in gallons, or is that in 55 gallons? How are you buying that? Because that's an important question.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're at in the comments here, because I look like I'm way behind.
Oh, I'm probably.
And again, just so that some of y'all know, a lot of the comments we don't see. And then there are comments that sometimes we get so many comments coming through that it's hard to get them all in there. So
and Chris, that's literally one of those things where you can take the time with them. The comment for anybody that can't see it is, most of my customers are over 65 and don't know how to leave a review. I know that there was what was the one that I used to use, Doug? Broadly. That was it.
Broadly, yeah.
And Broadly got me to be the most reviewed guy in Tallahassee in a quickness as well. And we would, we paid money to Broadly every month, and Broadly would literally send them a link to, it would sign into their Google for them. It's really, really kind of creepy, and send them a link and send them to the review page. It would do all the work except for what they were going to type out. Like the review screen
they had to write it themselves.
Be right there,
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of creepy.
And you can send them direct links as well. You can send it to them to where they can just fill it out and go.
Scott has 0 reviews, but he also has several million fish that approve of his work.
There you go.
So
I'm small and don't even work on Google reviews. I have enough to focus on, but I do ask for, I didn't get to finish reading that one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Before you made it go away. But I do ask for Facebook reviews, and they slam me for it. I guess if they're slamming you, how are you asking for it? It would be my question, because that does happen where people get upset over that. Most people won't or don't or shouldn't, unless I would ask you how you're asking that question, how you're going about getting them to try to give you the review. And I know, and I did it, right? I would say, well, I'll give you $25 off if you give us a review.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
A positive review. A positive review.
Yeah.
So gas versus electric, gas versus the roller pump. I don't know. I mean, the electric is the booster, like we were talking about earlier. Unfortunately, the gas pumps, what's available commercially on the market right now, the gas pumps that are out there, which would be the Comet, and then over there the Udor. The Udor would be that one right there. Like I said, when they fail spectacularly. The electric pumps, Mr. Booster right there, and yeah, I'm kind of partial to I told somebody today, they asked my opinion. I said, I started out with boosters. I'm partial to them, and we know they have problems as well. So
yeah, all of them have problems.
Everything has problems. I mean,
if you ask me, I'm too. I mean, we're both skewed towards the electric booster pumps.
Mm-hmm.
Gas pumps will put out more volume, I think, sometimes more pressure sometimes. I think in all of them you're going to have your failure points, and it's something that you have to decide what you're more comfortable with. I also like knowing that if I do have a pump failure, complete failure, I got another one on the shelf. I can swap it out in 10 minutes. I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah.
I can swap it out at the job site if I need to.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that has
we used to literally put on the booster pumps right there.
Other side.
There it is.
Everything's backwards.
That one right there. Yeah. We would put unions on the PVC unions on there, so the guys could sit there and go, oh shoot, sorry. Hey,
that's a much better picture of Raymond.
That is a better picture of me, isn't it?
I like that a lot.
Thank you. I'm guessing my microphone's still working. Yeah.
Yeah, your microphone's. No, your microphone. We can't hear you, Ray.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh, stop. Well, hey, I don't know. Well, sorry you can't hear me, but damn it. Oh well.
Well, but we can see you perfectly fine. We just can't hear you.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad my camera's working, so I'll just sign instead.
There you
go. Anyway, hold on.
You figure it out. Joe is saying, I see a lot of people on Facebook asking friends through a post for recommendations when they're looking for services, etc. That's actually happening a lot. I see that more and more where people are. They're asking for referrals, recommendations on services. And I see a lot of responses in there, and
100%.
I think that's a good thing.
Nextdoor is huge. I mean, and this is part of the reason that we need to always, be out there professional, always increasing our network, always,
I've actually made comments when somebody says, looking for a recommendation for a soft wash. I heard about, these couple companies, what do y'all think? That kind of thing. And somebody will say, like Ray will pop up and say, spray wash exterior cleaning. And, somebody will say Cajun soft wash. And then, I might pop in as Cajun soft wash. Hey, yeah, we're here to help you. But, I do know that you're asking about, Ray at, spray wash exterior cleaning, and they do great work as well. We're happy to get you taken care of. I'm not slamming him at all. I'm praising some of the competitors out there.
And see what I would do. It
even helps me in business.
What I would do is I would answer back on that and say, "Oh my gosh, Doug, I didn't realize you were out of prison."
Yeah, I only had to serve 2 of my 3 years. Yeah.
Yep. No, but I mean, it's yeah, I remember that that shit show.
Yeah, he was.
So MTH was saying MTH saying that was a gallon price for him.
Yeah. And that's why I was asking that question,
$4 per
because
gallon.
gallons are typically way more than if you're buying a 55, or, you know, if you're buying in drums and totes and bulk, there's different pricing. I believe that is the correct spelling.
No. Broadly is BROADLY. Here,
sure?
it's.
I thought it was BROD.
Broadly, it's this. Broadly, and it's that broadly. All right, let me go back up here to the comments. So bought the Water Dragon last year, has a gearbox in between the pump and Honda GSX motor. Why do they do that? And is it better? Yes, it is. And yes, it is. It allows us to sell an extra piece of equipment, mainly the gearbox right in there. No, but what it's called a gear reduction, and it's either reducing or increasing the gear ratio, because, and I'm not going to try to even say the numbers off because I don't want to seem ignorant right now, but this shaft spins at X speed and this pump needs to spin at X speed. So in here, what happens is those two are now meshed, and the gears they put in there make sure that
this
the speed of this shaft worked for that motor. Same thing with the pressure washers. Now, direct drive units, the direct drives that mount directly onto like a GSX 390, those triplex, pumps, the Comets that there's no gearbox on there, they can work at that speed, and that's really the only speed they work at. But
you can throttle them up or
be a little
throttle
more
them down.
Technical on there.
I like the gear drives myself, and I also like the footprint of the gear drives.
Yeah,
that's to me the biggest advantage, if you would, is really.
And Scott's one of these guys who's probably had every
out there.
Everything out there, and you guys that don't know Scott has a business that I would dare say that Scott's business, and including mine and your businesses, Doug, when we were operating, Scott's business is probably bigger than everybody online watching all added together.
Yeah. And he's sexy, so there's that.
Oh, Adam did something. I don't know what.
Oops.
Adam, I want you to bring me by. I want you to bring that rig by for me to look at. I want to see that thing, man. Look beautiful. He's a local washer, and just built a new trailer.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, Nextdoor. I think Nextdoor, Gene's usually on here. Gene O'Neill. Gene was a big fan of Nextdoor. And it's crazy. If you're not on Nextdoor, you need to get on there and see how many people, if people are recommending you. And like you were saying, you see it on Facebook in these groups, in these neighborhood groups, in these buy, sell, trade groups. This is the part of social media where so many people are missing out. Mm-hmm. It's not about paying somebody going, oh, let me run your Facebook ad strategy. Let me run your marketing campaign. Let me do such and such. No, it needs to be more organic as far as your touch to people out there. There's a young man in Tallahassee that I put him on our referral list last year before we sold, and it was funny because he saw me the other day. He's like, yeah, I'm really sad about it. He goes, I'm like, so happy you got the power wash store. He said, but I'm really, 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 I'm so happy about that, but I'm really sad that you sold. And I was like, why? He's like, because you were my biggest source of business. And sorry. But he was one of the guys when we first started talking. He's like, man, I'm advertising on Facebook, and I'm just not getting a lot of stuff. And I said, let me guess, you're offering, free estimates and 10% off or $25 off for new customers. Oh my God, you saw my ad. No, it's what all you guys do. It's all the same freaking thing. There's no unique sales proposition about this
You're the same
whatsoever.
as everybody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, in a lot of this too, and I think, and if you don't know what Nextdoor is, you need to look it up, because there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes in Nextdoor that you can't. You have to be in that neighborhood in order to see what's going on, or you have to be recommended by somebody in that neighborhood to be able to even see what's going on and how you're being recommended or being talked about inside there. So you think, I flipped that guy off. It's not a big deal, right? In my wrap truck.
Yeah.
And then you go and, a year later, you find out that, man, I just can't get any business in that neighborhood. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. And I just, man, I give bids out there all the time and I never get, I send advertising, I do that, and I never get any work. Yep. And then you come to find out it's because you flipped that guy off at that red light who was a jerk to begin with, right? But he went on to his neighborhood group and just bashed you like crazy.
Talking about you driving like a beast and risking kids' lives and blah, 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 which may or may not be true, but perception is reality.
Yeah.
And, you bring up something really good. And remember, we all sit here and we're wearing these dye sub shirts. We're wearing stuff that says our names. Most of us have wrap trucks out there. My God, you need to be the nicest, kindest, gentlest freaking person in the world. You need to be the most courteous driver in the world. Don't drive like a jackass whenever you're driving around a 19-foot freaking billboard. Oh, you'd like to go in front of me? By all means, there you go.
Go ahead.
Somebody let you out, roll the freaking window down and do that kind of thing. I mean, you are a rep. We do so much work to brand ourselves. Don't F it up by driving like a dodo.
Absolutely. Hey, Chris, on this one here, it says, I lost my bid today to a $99 guy. I priced it $450. And she asked me if I could go down. And that's when I knew it was not my customer. Since we're talking a little bit about role playing, this is one of the ones I love too. I mean, because for me, it's very simple when she says, hey, this guy bid it at $99. You already know that that's not going to end up being your customer if that's what she wants. But is that what she wants? Does she want a $99 house wash? And so you just flat ask her, oh, ma'am, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were looking for just a cheap job. I thought you were looking for good quality work being done. Not a problem. If you want to, give me a call when he's done. I'm happy to fix whatever isn't right or isn't done in the end. I may not go that route, but I am going to say I didn't know you wanted a cheap job. I thought you were looking for quality work. I understand. Not everybody can afford to use a quality service. I get that.
Exactly.
That's a very big punch in the face, but you have to use finesse when doing that sometimes. But there are different ways and tactful ways of really punching somebody in the face. I didn't know you couldn't afford a
Oh, I didn't realize you were cheap.
Yeah. I didn't realize that you were just a cheapie. I'm sorry you wasted my time today. But better luck next time.
Ask customer, leave me a mention on Facebook. Feel them talking good about me as much more convincing. Yep, absolutely.
This is where before and after pictures come in very, very well, where you don't necessarily even have to ask them, right, to leave you a comment on Facebook. You put their before and after pictures on Facebook, or you even ask them, may I use your before and after pictures
and
on Facebook?
Tag them and say, thank you, Mrs. Johnson. We enjoyed doing your house today.
And now Mrs. Johnson is going to share that post on her page.
Yeah.
And her friends and her family.
Ask their permission. Let them, oh my God, I'd love to. Yes. Ask them to share it. Don't sit there and put their oh, we enjoyed doing your house at 123 Main Street, because people like their anonymity. You might not even want to show their house numbers, but and ask them to get involved in your marketing strategy there. Gosh.
This is where, sometimes people say, I tried Facebook. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work in my area. There are so many different ways to use it and play with it and do it. I think it can be a very valuable tool in virtually every market. I can't see where it wouldn't work if it's done correctly. You might have to try a slightly different strategy depending on what you're doing, but it does work.
You're very welcome, Midwest. Happy to help. Good. I'm glad you got it. Quote on 3 more.
More. That's awesome.
Beautiful. Doug, one for you. Is there an overall performance difference on the gear and belt on a GX 390?
I'm not going to answer that question because I'm not a belt drive guy. I haven't had a belt drive since I think my first one. My second machine was a belt drive, and since then I've gone to gear drives. And so I don't want to say that there is, and I don't want to say that there isn't. Now I have heard, but I don't have the experience that the gear drive is actually a better performing unit than the belt drives, that the belts skip or become loose or these kinds of. It's like everything else though. Everything has its own unique set of problems. I think the gear drives probably have a little bit less, but I've had other guys say, "Man, I got a belt drive and I've never had a problem."
Yeah.
Performance where I've heard is
the problem you're gonna have with a belt drive is throwing a belt or breaking a belt, you know. And I'm saying this in general, but that's about an easiest infield repair that you can ever do. I mean, you know, you give me,
if you have a spare belt,
10 minutes, I can swap a belt out now.
And that's actually a good point there too, Ray, because if you have a belt drive unit and you have a spare belt and you pop that belt, boom, done. You can swap that thing out. If you have a gear drive unit and you do happen to break that gear, and believe me, it's happened, you know, you're done, right? It's just like your comic pump's blowing up. So you've got to get a new gearbox in. You can't just swap to a belt. So everything has its pluses and minuses. You just have to decide what is
but best. I did find, you know, my it seemed like my gear drives I would say they outperformed my belts until they didn't.
Yeah.
But then my belts could swap the belt out on it and keep going. You know, I mean, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. And I went through a lot more belts than I went through gearboxes, but then again, I should, because, you know, you're hundreds of dollars for a gearbox and you're $80 for, you know, a 3-way belt. So yeah,
definitely. So I don't know what this. You're probably getting ready to click on it.
Oh, sorry. Huge.
No, go ahead. I try not to click anymore because you and I keep clicking things and then it messes it up. And so I'm just like, yeah, let Ray click on it. Let him be the clicky guy. So what is this one about, Ray?
I don't know. Whose line of degreasers didn't I carry?
Said calling Ray out for not sending your line of degreasers per your request.
I'm lost.
That's
I don't know. Sorry if I missed something. This is getting way more commercial work than residential. I cannot figure out how to switch momentum to getting more residential work. Well, I would say that's probably not a bad problem to have there.
I definitely would take more commercial.
100%. I guess if you love the residential, then you need to just advertise to more residential people and seek more residential referrals. But
raise your prices on your commercial.
It's been my experience that commercial is better. You know,
way more profitable.
That's what I found.
Commercial pricing, and I can say with confidence that a lot of times, let's just say we went by the square foot on something, we would be cheaper per square foot, but we're making more money on that square footage. And the reason being, there's so much more. We don't have to move. We don't have to this. We don't have to that. So we can make more money on a commercial job, even though we're working at a lower rate on a commercial project. Not all commercial projects that are at a low.
Well, Doug, think about it. Yes, it's the old argument of, oh, well, we made $300 an hour today. We did this house and we made $300 an hour, and
we were there.
You know, huh? Well,
we did
or
4
we
of
were
them.
there for 2 hours. Okay, great. So you made, and you're considering the time that you were there. So you made $600, awesome. And that was the only thing you got done today. Or then you went to another house and you may not have, you don't brag about the one you only made $150 an hour for.
Or
But on the
$25 an hour.
commercial, I may have only made $200 an hour, but I actually worked for 7 hours at that commercial. I wasn't out running around town. I wasn't going from job to job to job. I wasn't, we
can't tell you how
stretched
many
the
times
hoses
I
out.
had
We were
callbacks.
there for 6 or 7 hours. Do that math, and because a lot of people in this business love to talk about their hourly rate, but their hourly rate is absolutely 100% a fallacy whenever you look at what they're actually doing, because they're doing that for 1, 2, 3 hours a day. They're not doing, and and I'm sorry, you're a business owner, you got 12 hours in a day. You probably ought to be hustling that thing out there. So not making that money for 3 hours a day doesn't count. And so many just believe about half of what you hear online, and vet the half of that.
Let me click on this one from Jim next. So I want to touch on this a little bit.
And Doug, I'm
Jim
going
is saying,
to hit the head real quick.
there you go. Jim is saying, stop at yellow lights so more people can see your brand. I want you to think about that for just a second. Just think about that. So the light turns yellow, and what do? Do you stop or do you go through, right? You're pulling a trailer. So the next thing that happens is you're like, yeah, screw it, right? But now, especially your trailer is going through red, and that trailer is reading spray wash exterior cleaning, Cajun soft wash, right? Running a red light. That's what they see. Okay. So would you rather have somebody, that guy ran a red light and he's spray wash exterior cleaning? Or would you rather say, okay, that guy actually sees my truck and trailer stopped? It's so much better for your company to anticipate the yellow lights and then stop for the yellow lights. And then that way you're stopped, you're parked, you're right there. Same thing that we've said probably a dozen times over. Like if you're going to go someplace, don't park in the back. If you're going to stop at a store, park up front where people can see your wraps and your stuff and, all that kind of thing. So use that to your advantage. Good point there, Jim. Next one says, Michael, I got 3 jobs in the last couple of weeks by leaving a balance at a local coffee shop. It buys their coffee and they get a card. Got 3 jobs last couple of weeks by leaving a balance at a local coffee shop. It buys their coffee and they get a card. By leaving a balance, I think you mean leaving leftover? I think I get what you're saying. So you're saying that you basically left money for the next guy? I'm missing that. I'm missing it, Michael. I'm sorry.
Is it a paying it forward thing?
I think it's a paying it forward kind of a thing. I think that's what that is. I'll take that advice forward with me. Thanks. You got it, Chris. Yes, your reputation is a perception, and you are what you post online. Don't forget about that. Role playing for Dougie. World War Z breaks out, and you are stuck on the back of a wash rig, fighting off hordes of zombie. What's your weapon of choice? Machine, nozzle, pump, unit, etc. Oh man. Well, of course, I got to go with a red tip, though I might want to go with no, I'm not going to go with a red tip. Yes.
Double turbo.
But wait, Ray. What am I putting on the ends of that? What am I putting on the ends?
What?
Rip saws.
Huh? Oh, rip saws. Rip saws.
Yes. 2 rip saws on there. The problem is I'm not going to have the water supply, right? So if it's the post-zombie apocalypse world, maybe I've got a body grinder and it's putting blood in there. I mean, we could get really gross on that, but I'm going with the machine is going to be it's going to be a pressure. It's going to be a 12 gallon a minute with a dual lance on it, and it's going to have rip saws on it. That's it.
There you go. I like it. Somebody said you're an ambassador to your company. I don't even know where you are. So your reputation is a perception.
Not the kind of role playing I was looking for. Yeah, sorry. Speaking of that, though, we
You're
do
a
need
bad,
to set
bad
a
girl,
date.
Nicole.
And unfortunately, I will be gone from April 1st all the way through the middle of April. So I was thinking that the role plays would be great to do on like a Saturday or Sunday. But we're going to work out a day and time on that.
And I'm out April 14th through some other until like for a week because we're in Belize.
Right. So yeah, that makes that tough. I'll come up with something because I'd like to make it a monthly thing to do, and so we'll come up with something and we'll put that out to all the pro members there.
Scott, I'm with you. I like the gear drive. I mean, I really, really do like the gear drives, and it seems like whenever you get a pulley out of square or a pump out of square on there, and you start breaking belts, to me, I've gone through 3 or 4 belts in a pretty short term, and let's say like a 3-4 month period, until I just find that magic squared up spot again on there. So, but at least a belt can get you up and running. But golly, I do love the yep.
And as Billy Anderson saying, the poly chain.
Poly chain. Mm-hmm. Hey, Gene, we were just talking about you earlier in a good way.
A little bit late to the party, Gene. That's all right.
Advertising. Window cleaning is a good lead generation for pressure washing. A lot of guys have told me, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I know that he's made it public now, so I can talk about it. But the guy that Matt, the guy that bought Cajun Soft Wash, has also bought a window cleaning company out of New Orleans. And the two complement each other extremely well. And I think he'll do amazing bringing those two together and having the two of them complement each other. So he'll be able to take some of the window jobs here in the greater Baton Rouge area and be able to grab them and then take soft wash jobs in the New Orleans area. So I think that'll be a great complement to one another.
So Midwest, absolutely. And Doug and I have said this for years, but you literally make your monthly expenses and your payrolls with your residential. You make your retirement accounts with your commercial. Now you've just got to figure out the balance in that, because a lot of commercial they don't care if they take 45, 60, 90 days to pay you on that. And it's a fact of life on there.
And this is another one of them things where the role playing is going to be nice too, because I just had the same conversation maybe 3 or 4 days ago with someone about, they were talking, I think that it was funny to me. And if you're watching, I'm not making fun of you, but he said to me, he goes, I'm not really sure how far past due they are, but they're 62 days past due. And I'm like, dude, you know exactly. You said, you're not so sure how far behind they are, but they're 62 days, 62, exactly. So, there become those times when even though they're good customers, all that kind of thing, you have to toughen up and say, I need my money to move forward, or not even that I need my money to move forward, but you're 60 days behind our due date, and you have to find a way to say, I'm not doing any more money for you, and I'm going to start adding late fees and all this kind of stuff.
And that's something that everybody should have on their invoice. Absolutely. On there, by the way, is find out what is statutory in your state. In Florida, couldn't go over 18% a year or 1.5% a month, but you could put that, but you had to put it on the estimate and on the invoice where it says, balances over 30 days will be charged a 1.5% fee on that, and you were legally entitled to do that to them, and just add that 1.5% on there. 100%, you know. And Gene, I'm with you. I consider my HOA stuff commercial. I've always considered the large scale residential like that, the HOA work, to be commercial work. I don't consider that to be residential, because I'm really dealing with a commercial entity in that, and I'm dealing with commercial style numbers. Estimates would quote an hourly rate. People would say, hell no, but I give a job price for the same amount of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's true. If you say, you know, if you go up to somebody and say $200 an hour, they say no. If you go up and say, I can do that job for you, it's going to be $300. Take me about an hour to get done. They're going to say yes. You know, if you price it out, it is weird when you look at it that way. What are you guest hosting on?
Yeah, whenever you're out of town. God, that'd be whenever you and I are both out of town, let Scott guest host. Jeez, we would either be huge, or we would lose literally Scott, because
everybody.
Yeah. It'd be huge until he pissed everybody off.
So just so y'all know how Scott would start off. Look, all you assholes. No. Yeah. You're welcome anytime.
I was talking about on the coffee.
I'm getting blown away here. Gene would come in with pure bleach. John would come in with a sandblast attachment.
You know, the pure bleach might actually be pretty good at destroying the organic material of the zombies. So, all right.
There's a good one.
Need to add a gear shaft to gear drives like Comet pumps. They're a bitch to get off when the gearbox fails. Sometimes they can be. Start by bleaching the streets in New Orleans.
I was going to say, Scott, you can't do that. If you clean a spot in New Orleans, you're going to have people upset. It's a dirty, dirty place.
Yes, you can charge interest rate. Well, depending on your state, but yes, but you have to notify them.
Yeah, you can set dates. You can start interest after day one if you want. I don't recommend that at all, but definitely find out what's common. And if they're past 60 days, especially, I would definitely be. So how I do it, or did it, just so that you know, I would put it up as, okay, you start off with, first of all, you're going to have a late fee, right? And then you're going to have an administration fee that goes on top of the late fee. And then you have the interest that's going to accrue. So I got 3 different routes that I'm trying to hit them with.
I like that. If I give credit, I explain for credit to work, we need 2 things, trust and integrity. If I offer to trust you, can you assure me of your integrity to pay me on the due date we agreed to? Amen. Oh my God. Could you imagine Scott and Ryan doing this together? That would, woo!
There you go.
So John, we did our Facebook media posting. Here's how the store is shaping up. The signs up outside now. The windows are getting wrapped, I believe, this week. Here's my entire life savings. No, just kidding. Hey, we got banjos. We got banjo fittings. But that's where the original proportioner is going to go, with a plaque on that wall right there.
When it gets its patent?
No, actually, the original will get up there anyway.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I thought Tanya was your entire life savings.
I didn't do the entire life savings.
Yeah. You know, Ray, we've been at this for almost an hour and a half.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Time has flown tonight.
I love Jacob for this crap show. Couldn't be worse than this current train wreck.
There you
go. Yeah, he would be fantastic. I agree. Well, you've actually had Scott on here before. Biggest electric pump we sell, gallons per minute. The 1 horse The one horse Goulds is going to be the biggest one that I mean, I could special order larger Goulds. Well, I could get, hell, I can get 22 gallon a minute Goulds.
Yeah, but there's a point where, I mean, unless you're rinsing, especially applying,
yeah. I mean, it's too much to apply with.
Yeah.
You'd have to batch mix. I don't even think a high flow proportioner could handle that. I guess maybe if we put 1 inch valves in it or 1 inch, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but I mean, I can get you 22 gallon a minute Goulds. They're rinsing beast, but then the other problem you have is you're going to need like a 12,000 kilowatt generator to keep up with that thing,
and
or
the water
switch
supply.
it to 220. And whenever you switch to the 220, 240, I realize that works actually at a lower hertz than the Hunt 120s. And you don't get that. So those motors run slower than 110, 120 motors out there. So like the guys in soft wash that all use 220, 240, they don't necessarily get as far as we get because the electric motors run at a slower speed, even though they're using twice as much sauce.
Yep.
Oh, you two just go have your fleshy love fest, I swear. Especially the fleshy part with Jacob.
Yeah. Extra cushion. Never mind.
Says twice.
Those two.
The thought of Jacob has made me throw up in the back of my throat. It's awesome.
And Michael, thank you very much. We appreciate it. The old guys are just jealous, Scott says. Yeah.
Damn right.
Damn straight Skippy.
Well, guys, thank y'all so much. This hour and a half has literally flown by.
Yes, it has.
Thank
y'all. Good to see you online here, Jacob.
Yes, sir. Wash on, guys. Have an amazing spring is definitely here. So y'all have a good time. And listen, I hear my wife calling me. Hi, honey. Say hi to the world. There you go. I'll call you back. Love you. Bye. Forgot to put that on silent. All I know, Burke is roomed with Daniel. That had to be an experience. Actually, no, I have my own room. I got Draper's room down there.
There you go.
Mark Rhodes,
you're coming in just as we're going out, Mark.
Mark, impeccable timing. Mark's here. We got to go. Sorry.
Yep. Mark's here. We're leaving.
Later. I'm out. No. No, seriously, Mark, we were just signing off. So you guys have awesome week. Spring is definitely here. We're covered in pollen. Tanya was on phones today for Crystal Clean, and I listened to her. Boy, every time I saw her, she was taking estimate requests. So
awesome.
Kind of amazing. So if it's happening in North Florida, it's soon to be in middle Georgia and Louisiana and Alabama and all Kentucky then and Tennessee and all those great places. So Doug, talk to you soon, buddy. Bye, guys. Thank y'all.